guys. So our next topic is it's going to be a jump into more of what is supposed to be a video game movie. Okay, and I say supposed to be because the previous installments of this franchise were anything but. They had nothing to do with the video game franchise itself. They were just kind of these terrible movies in their own right. I know people like them. If you like them, that's great. Whatever. But we're talking about Resident Evil here. Okay, so Resident Evil is making a reboot, but in this sense, it's the true sense of the word reboot. Because they're disconnecting themselves from the previous installments. It's a new cast, and they go on to say that the writer director of the movie says, like, with this movie, I really wanted to go back to the original first two games and recreate the terrifying visceral experience I had when I first played them. So, and he goes on to say more. I'm not going to obviously read the entire thing, so bear with me. Not out loud by any means. This isn't that kind of show. If you want an audiobook, you go get an audiobook. You want to read the article, you go read the article. I'm just going to talk about the article. So I'm excited for this because, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't know about you guys. I'm not the biggest like Resident Evil fan. Like I like Resident Evil, I like the universe and everything, but it's not like I've sat there and played every single game to completion
not
over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not something I'm, like,
Yeah.
dedicated
Yeah.
to by any means.
Yeah, like I like it. I think it's cool, and I know the movies were not Resident Evil, even though
They were not.
like that's not
They
what
were
it
awful.
is. They even I mean, they try to throw in some characters like Wessler, and then Chris whatever was like they come in at some point, but they're not even those characters.
No,
Like
it's just the name.
yeah, so and because I kind of spoke about that a week or so ago when we had our first look at Monster Hunter, and I have the same reservations with that because again, that's not a game that like I'm super invested in, but like I know there's a lot of people that are, and I know it's a great game and people love it and everything, but Mila Jovovich, who's great, is starring in that movie as well, which made me go, "I just hope this isn't directed by her hus" Yep, it is.
Yep.
It's,
Yeah.
Paul W.S. Anderson, who directed all those Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich in them before, is directing the Monster Hunter movie, so I was like, "Well, that just really lowers my expect." No offense to them at all, but, like, just based on the evidence, I cannot be as excited as I was prior.
How many of those movies was there even?
I think 7.
Jeez Pete.
Yeah, and they never got good. They were never, like, good, or they were never true to the installments and the
I
game
don't even
series,
think they were,
like,
like,
anyway.
popular. Like,
They weren't, but they were able to make them super
They were
cheap.
yeah,
Like
and they had a following. I mean, they had enough people that liked them well enough that they were
it's
able to
true.
keep making them.
yeah, they have, like, what you would describe as, like, a cult following for them.
I
Like,
would say
there are
so.
fans of it, and that's why I said off the top, like, no offense if you like them, because I know there are people who like them. Just for me, they don't work, and I would have much preferred seeing a much more faithful adaptation to the games because, like, despite if you like the games or not, the general story of the games is actually I mean, it's a good story, and it would have
Yeah.
been it's a very cinematic game as it is too, like, the way it's told and everything.
Well, and the games were always they had a strong horror element to them. The movies came off more as action
Yeah, like
flicks.
sci-fi action.
Yeah, sci-fi action with monsters, but I'm hoping that this remake, if he really is trying to follow the story beats of 1 and 2, has that stronger horror element to it.
Yeah, and this is not, Paul W.S. Anderson making this one. This is,
Yep.
Johannes Roberts, so I don't know who I'm not familiar with their previous work, so I can't speak to that. A all I know is that this they're saying that they played the games and they wanna make a true adaptation of the games. So, I mean, to me right away, I was sold on that. Like, so I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to that, and I hope it turns out well, and the cast is shaping up to be pretty good too. Like, Kaya Skuld I can't pronounce the name. I always remember her from the British
Scodelario.
TV series, Skins, so that's what she'll always be, her name was Effie in that, so she'll just always be Effie to me. Robbie Amell, uh, Hannah John Kamen, who would played Ghost in Ant-Man, if I'm not mistaken, Ant-Man
Yep.
2, and then, Tom Hopper from Umbrella Academy. Not familiar with Avon Yogia or Jogia. Again, not sure on the
Yogia.
pronunciation. First time I'm reading it. And then Neil McDonough, he's listed everything. Man, he pops up. I always love seeing.
He's good in everything too.
Exactly. He is one of
He's
those
not just-
actors. Yeah. He's just one of those dudes who just pop up in something, and like he'll deliver. He'll constantly deliver. Like if you want him to be off the fucking walls, campy, he'll do it and he'll exceed at it. You want him to be serious? He'll do it. Like
Yeah.
he can do it all. He can be funny. Like he's just a
Well-rounded.
well-rounded actor. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Neil McDonough pop up somewhere. Like he's been in so many movies. So like the cast is so far looking pretty great. I don't think it goes on to say who they're going to be playing by any means. You'd think they would have though, because they obviously have to know.
Doesn't it say it up in there? It shows who they are, like Jill Valentine.
Yeah, it does.
Where?
Right there in that paragraph.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Kaya's
okay. I don't know
Claire
how I
Redfield.
completely passed this paragraph. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
Chris Redfield. That's the damn name I was thinking of. So Robbie's playing Chris Red. I would have imagined Tom
Okay.
Hopper was playing Chris Redfield. That was more of a fit for me. So Tom Hopper is playing Wesker. Interesting. I would have pictured Neil McDonough playing. So I don't know. Interesting.
Take us to
interesting.
Raccoon
Oh, I
City.
remember him now. He was the hippie guy in Zombieland 2. Okay, that makes sense. I remember him. So I have seen his work before. He was fine. That he was also in if that's the same guy I'm thinking of, then he was in that Nickelodeon show, Victorious.
Yeah. Was he?
Yeah. He was the cool kid with
He
the long
was,
hair.
yeah, with the cool hair and
Yeah,
stuff.
that was him.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then because I saw him in that, and then when I was watching Zombieland 2, I was like, hey, man, that's that dude from Victorious. Like,
Yeah.
just like smoking weed and doing all this stuff that you wouldn't do on Nickelodeon.
Which is funny because Victoria Justice plays that kind of character like on a show I watch now. Doesn't all the stuff that you like wouldn't expect her to do because you just associate her with Victorious, but
Right. Yeah,
grow
so
up.
I think the cast is looking good. There were some casting choices though that I would probably flip around in all honesty. But I didn't see them audition for this stuff. It's just when I see these guys and know their work, it's not what I initially thought. I would have assumed Tom Hopper was playing Chris Redfield like all the way, and then obviously Neil McDonough would have probably been playing Wesker. That would have been my initial thoughts. And then like Kaya playing Claire Redfield. That would go. That's fine. That's where my head's at. So I don't know. But again, I'm not too attached to the franchise itself. So I mean, I'm not really too concerned with the cast choices. It's a good. But
Yeah, if they can nail that horror vibe, I'm there. I'm down.
I think, in my opinion, too, like with it being Halloween and everything, it we're like I don't know, if, at least for me, like we're kind of due for an actual good horror movie, and we're also way long overdue for a good video game movie.
True.
Like
True.
way.
I assume this is production hope with a hopeful release of next year, or are we still a couple years out?
I don't know. I don't think it actually says. I don't
Okay.
see any year on here or production.
So we might actually be a couple years out if they haven't even gotten production rolling, if they're just in the early casting stages.
I guess there were 6. I could have swore there were 7, but there were 6 original Resident Evil movies. This article says
6 too many.
Yeah, this is all true.
We're gonna get some crap for that, but
Paul Davis Anderson directed. Those movies combined made 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
more than I would have
And
imagined.
they definitely didn't spend that much on them. So yeah, they were successful. Like people definitely like them, which is baffling. It's
Yeah.
like, did you watch it though? How? I don't know. I don't know. Not my kind of movies. Like, and especially not. Honestly, if they would have, maybe I would have a more appreciation for them if they weren't called Resident Evil. Like maybe I'm casting too much shade on them for that. Like I
Sure.
don't know. Like so maybe I'm a
I
bit
think that's
biased.
true.
Like
I think that's true. I think when you're expecting one thing and they give you what they gave you, it's hard not to be disappointed. But I think if you just take the name off and just watch them as a movie, you can be like, okay, this is kind of, I don't want to say dumb fun, but I'm going to say dumb fun
Yeah.
because I want to insult anybody that liked it. I mean, like I said, I think I watched the first one and thought for what it was fine. I just, it wasn't Resident Evil, and so I was disappointed because I knew the game and I was like, well, wait a minute, what's this? Where is this? Why aren't they doing this?
Yeah, it's
All
kind of
right, and
confusing. If you,
that's kind of where I'm at with them. Like, they are B movies. Like, they are your standard B movie, and like, I don't know. I like I appreciate B movies. Like, I love like 80s and 90s B movies. There's a lot of them that are like really good, really fun to watch. Like, especially a lot of Arnold and Van Damme ones, dude. Like those movies are top tier.
you
Top,
talking like Commando or like,
Commando, dude, Time Cop, Running Man. Running Man is the most underrated Arnie movie, dude. I love that movie, dude. It is so dumb and it's great, man. I love Running Man.
Total Recall?
I was a Van Damme and Steven Seagal junkie in the 80s and 90s, and
Steven Seagal was
those two. Whoo!
I
Van Damme
never
was
got
cool.
into Seagal, dude.
He's
I
just so
could never do
goofy.
it. Yeah.
Oh, he is, but man, some of those movies were just so
His
over
face
the top.
is
And
always like,
Yeah, Seagal and Chuck Norris, like, were never anybody I was always more Van Damme and Arnie. Same
Van
with
Damme had more
Stallone. I
prominent
never really
roles.
cared for, like I like all these people I'm talking about right now, but when it came to, like, I would watch a Van Damme movie, and I would watch an Arnold movie. I wouldn't really seek out the other. Like, if I saw it, fine, but, like, I
yeah.
wouldn't be like, shockingly, like, I wasn't, like, trying to go watch Rambo and, like, Rocky and all like, I wasn't, like, trying
You
to
weren't?
watch it.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
But you give me Commando and Running Man, like, dude, I was there. Like,
Yeah.
I was totally there. So, I don't know. I hope, though, I got some hopes for this one, though, so I'm hoping I want this to be good. I want a true horror movie, though.
Yeah.
Because despite, like, everything, like I said, we're due for a good video game adaptation. The only good video game movie, like, that I would say was just been a good movie, like, on its own, was the latest Tomb Raider movie. Wasn't great, but it wasn't
Oh,
bad. Like,
I tell you what, maybe it was because of the Angelina Jolie ones, but man, I love this latest Tomb Raider.
no, it was good.
What Alicia? What was
Alicia
her name?
Vikander.
Man, she was really good in the role, and the movie itself was good. Like,
Yeah, they're
I
making
wanted
another one.
more. Are they?
Yeah, they're making another one.
I hope so, because
Yeah,
man,
they are.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, everyone has always talked about, at least in like this field, like the video game movie curse. Like, yeah, everyone that comes out, you think it's gonna, like, you think Warcraft, dude. This is the one. This is one that's gonna be the first good video game movie, and then it comes out, and you're
Nope.
like, okay, nope, it's cursed.
Kind of
And then,
I was gonna say it's a cursed movie.
yeah, and
but
then
stop.
same thing, Assassin's Creed. It's like, this is gonna be it, dude. Michael Fassbender. This is gonna be it. It's gonna. Oh yeah, no, that movie was worse than Warcraft. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and honestly, like, not so much Assassin's Creed, but Warcraft. Maybe it's just because I'm a WoW fan, but like, it had its moments. Like, Warcraft was actually like, it wasn't a dumpster fire, and I understand what they were trying to do, but it didn't execute. It wasn't executed like perfectly. Like, they were honestly, like, they should have done a different story, like, than what they were doing. It was honestly better suited for a TV show. There's so much lore with it. Like, to get it done in 2 hours, it's a big undertaking. So, like, I give Duncan Jones props for Warcraft because he tried, and the CG, the orcs and everything look great though. Like, I like how the orcs look, and they did good on the human armor. But I'm hoping this will be another video game adaptation, but I want it to be a good horror movie, like you were saying, because like the sci-fi action other Resident Evil movies, like, that's not really what I'm looking for in Resident.
Well, the game's a horror game.
Yeah. Like, they're like, the games are like slow, methodical tension, and like,
It's like dark.
it's not always just like, shoot the zombie. Like, it's not Walking Dead. It's not Walking
Sure.
Dead's like a human drama, and there's zombies in the background, you
Yeah.
know, and then like, Zombie Land's like just kind of almost how it would be like in the real world. Like, in a lot of ways, like, if zombies were there, that's just kind of how it would probably be. But then, like, this is a very, like, slow, methodical, like, it's just all about tension with these games. They're dark and slow. That's what I want out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I haven't felt like we've gotten a good horror movie in general in a long time.
No.
Because I know a lot of people like what do they call it, like Conjuring and all that stuff. But I don't
No
find
way,
those movies
man.
scary in any way at all. Like
I think they
there's-
just like milked
Well-
that franchise.
yeah.
You've got the horror genre seems to be dominated by a lot of psychological horror movies now, like Hereditary and
Oh, that movie was awesome, dude. That was good.
what Midsummer that came out last
Midsummer was
year.
crazy.
That was okay. I didn't like that one. As like it was okay. It was okay.
It was weird.
It was weird, but
Heard-
it was
I've heard they're
too slow.
I've heard they're good movies, and they like
They're
get
good
in your
movies.
head, and they mess with your head, and they're horror that. But in terms of like the monster, the kind of like what's going on in the dark, that kind of thing.
Your typical
yeah,
horror movie.
Your typical horror has been lacking for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, like when I think horror, like I think one of two things, like really, at least that I like one is like the first Alien movie, like Alien. I want
Mhm.
like that kind of thing. Like if they took the Alien approach with Resident Evil, that's what I want. Like that is very well suited for it. Like
Yeah.
and then
That's a
the
good
other
point.
and then the other route would be doing like the more like like the OG Michael Myers kind of thing. Where, like
Yeah.
because they have has a very similar approach to Alien, where like Michael's not like up front and center in your face all the time. He's just kind
No.
of there.
And it's not your typical like horror slasher
Yeah.
movie either, like Friday the 13th. I liked Hellraiser. That to me was like
That
the
was dude, I love
definition.
dude. There are some the first and second one. They have their moments, and the world of it is what's good about the
It's
Hellraiser movie.
crazy.
Like they're weird.
Yeah.
The Cenobites,
Cenobites,
they're just
yeah.
weird. Like, but like I don't know if if that's the kind of thing I'm going for. Dude, Henry Cavill was in Hellraiser 4. I think.
What?
Yeah.
In-
Hellraiser 2000, I think is what it's called. Not Hellraiser 4. Hellraiser 2000. You will see a young Henry Cavill giving a not his
Mediocre?
best performance.
Yeah.
I
see
started
that.
watching it because I literally saw Henry Cavill in it, and I was just like, I have to watch it. I didn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. So if I ever get a chance to meet Henry Cavill, I'm going to try to play some World of Warcraft with him, and I'm going to ask him what was going on with this Hellraiser 2000 movie. 'Cause I bet nobody talks to him about Hellraiser 2000.
You gotta like bring it up to him.
Yeah,
in his
it's always
face.
Superman this, and Geralt of Rivera that, and are you gonna do this? And he's like, I'm be like, dude, what's up with Hellraiser
Hellraiser 4.
2000?
Yeah.
Like,
Helmet.
what are we doing Hellraiser 4000? But yeah, so in the end, I just hope they do a good job with the movie, like, as always. But I'm hoping for horror stuff. So, what do you guys? You guys got anything else on Resident Evil? All right. Well, then I'm going to kick it over to you guys. You let us know down in the comment section below. Do you like that they're rebooting the franchise? Or are you one of the people who like the, original Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich series and would like to have seen that continue on in some way? And I'm glad they're doing a reboot. I want something to be a little bit closer to the games, and I really hope they stick to the more high tension, dark, creepy vibes that the game gives off more so than a lot of like the action stuff. That's what I really want out of it. But alas, I'm nobody, so it doesn't really matter to me. So I just
you're
want a good
somebody.
movie. Well, everybody's somebody to somebody. So I'm saying, like, I'm
Don't
not the one
downplay
making
yourself.
the movie. So like, I'm just saying, as a viewer, I would like to see someone take that approach because I find that compelling. You give me Alien, but with Resident Evil, I'm sold. That's what I want. So whatever it is, guys, you let us know down in the comment section below.